I say alcohol must go!
On January 16, 1920, the 18th Amendment to the American Constitution was made law. This amendment forbade the use and sale of any type of alcohol. This was known as Prohibition. Alcohol from across the country was tracked down and thrown away. Raids were carried out in the secret stashes of bootleggers. Crates, kegs, and casks were broken open and dumped out into the sewers by the thousands. Prohibition had many unforeseen consequences. The country became divided between dries and wets. Dries agreed with Prohibition while wets fiercely opposed it. Crime skyrocketed as people turned to illegal alcohol sales from bootleggers to get their liquor. Underground drinking spots known as speakeasies or blind pigs became widely abundant. Alcohol smuggling generally consisted of rum fleets from Canada parking their ships just off the border of the US, while American bootlegging boats unloaded the cargo and brought the alcohol to shore. Because of this, the Coast Guard became the main force of law in smuggling. Bootlegging got so out of hand, the Coast Guard became well known for shooting first and asking questions later. One of the most notorious bootleggers at the time was a man named Al Capone.
Most notorious gangster in the history of the nation, Alphonse Capone, better known to most as Al Capone or Scarface, ran Chicago with blood and guns. On the morning of Thursday, February 14, 1929, St. Valentine's Day, 5 members of the Northside Gang were lined up and executed against the inside wall of a garage at 2122nd North Clark Street. The murders were committed by gangsters allegedly hired from outside the city by Al Capone's mob, so they would not be recognized by their victims. 2 of the shooters were dressed as uniformed police officers, while the others wore suits, ties, overcoats, and hats, according to the witnesses who saw the police leading the other men at gunpoint out of the garage after the shooting. Capone was very good at what he did. Within 2 years, Capone was earning $60 million a year from alcohol sales alone. In 1931, the law finally caught up with Al Capone and he was charged with tax evasion. On this day, the gangster Al Capone was sentenced to 11 years in prison for tax evasion and fined $80,000, signaling the downfall of one of the most notorious criminals of the 1920s and 1930s. Prohibition ended on December 5, 1933, when the 18th Amendment was repealed.
Prohibition is over!